Hello my friends, and welcome back to our blind let's play, Ever 17, the Out of Infinity for the PC. My name is FlightlessBird, this is your story-based gaming channel, and today my friends we're continuing the final route, the Coco route, as beautiful music comes from this part of the game. Such a beautiful song. I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, and we're not gonna waste any time. Let's jump into this. Coco. I said the name without thinking. The shape that suddenly swelled out of the darkness was undoubtedly the girl from the compression chamber, the one from the day before. And Coco was singing a song. I was waiting for you. She spoke before I could. I waited and waited for you to come. I was waiting all alone like a moon sprite. That then you should have come to me. I couldn't. That's impossible. But why? Because you want to take me with you. What? Will you take me to where everybody is? Of course I will. Let's go together right now. And just as I said that, splash. A wall of water exploded from near Coco's feet. Droplets of water scattered everywhere like mist. Farewell. Coco disappeared in the spray. What the heck is going on here? The resulting waves stroked my feet. A fine spray of mist erupted skyward and rained down gently on the waves. There was the toolbox left in the darkness. That was all that I saw. I forgot myself. All I could do was stand in that narrow corridor. I didn't know how much time had passed. Dragging the heavy toolbox in my heavier legs, I returned to the room with the pipes. And by the way, if you're wondering about that choice, Enter Zero assured me that the choice from last part, the Minnie Mouse one or the Caesar one, the Spoiled Baby or you, it doesn't have an effect on the route. So it doesn't matter which one you pick. This should just about do it. And thank you for that, by the way. Super appreciate it. You're not done, are you? Nope, we're still getting ready. Oh, I see. We have to repair the generator next door after we finish here. Takeshi wiped away the sweat from his forehead. Huh? Kid? What are you doing there? Noticing me, you turned around. I bought the toolbox. Toolbox? It doesn't look like they need it anymore. What? Oops, sorry about that. Turns out the valve was closed to begin with. So, no matter how much I tried to close it, it wouldn't budge because it was already shut. I heard you the first time. Oh, is that right? All the dots. Don't be like that. I mean, these things happen sometimes. I'm not, mad. All the dots. What's wrong? I decided to tell them about Coco. Absolutely. I mean, why would we not tell them about Coco? I told them. Actually, I saw that girl again. What do you mean by that girl? The girl that disappeared in the compression chamber. I told you last night, don't you remember? Oh yeah, your invisible friend. She's not invisible. I screamed at them as loudly as possible. Kid, take it easy.
とにかく落ち着いて。
Just calm down. All the dots.
その女の子どこで見かけたの？
Where did you see the girl? In front of the generator room.
なんか話したの？
Did she say anything? Yeah. I think she said something about being all alone like a moon sprite. Oh, that's right. She was singing a lullaby.
子守歌？
A lullaby? It was the same as a lullaby that Sarah sang before. Takeshi and you looked at Sarah. I focused my eyes on her too.
私子守歌なんて
I didn't
歌ったことないけど。
sing any lullaby. Liar? You did too sing a lullaby before, Sarah. I remember it. Sarah stared at me as if she felt sorry for me. You look like she had a bad taste in her mouth. Takeshi avoided my eyes and leaned in close to say something to you and Sarah. You and Sarah listened to Takeshi whispering. What are you whispering about? I'm fine. I'm not crazy. I'm really not. Don't you look at me like that.
オッケー、わかったわかった。
Okay. Everything is fine.
じゃあその女の子を目撃した場所にみんなで行ってみようじゃないか。
So why don't we all go to the place where you saw the girl? She's not there anymore. She disappeared.
そうか。だけどもしかしたらまた現れるかもしれないだろ。
I see, but maybe she'll show up again. It's no good. She won't.
俺たちはお前の言ってることを信じてるんだ。
Well, look, we believe you.
いや、信じることにしたんだ。
I mean, we've decided to believe you.
な？だからそう自暴自棄になるなよ、少年。
All right, so you just keep your cool, okay, kid? I didn't feel like saying anything else. Agreeing with me was somehow sad. I was sure that the little girl whispering conference they had just held when something along the lines of just agree with whatever he says. I couldn't read that line all of a sudden. It depressed me and sapped all my energy. I didn't feel like resisting the three of them or trying to give myself a pep talk. I was tired. I thought they could do what they wanted. You just keep your cool, okay, kid? Takeshi's words lacked conviction. After that, when we went back in front of the generator room, there was, of course, no sign of the girl. The four of us waited outside the generator room until we could be sure that the temperature inside had cooled enough. Time was cruel but forgiving. My feelings smoothed over slowly with time, like protruding bits of a beach, rounded by an endless progression of waves. After a while, I was back to my normal self. Only Coco's parting word, farewell, seemed to linger in my mind, echoing without end. When we thought the time had come, we timidly opened the door. It was like opening the door to a public bath. A cloud of steam hissed out of the door. And off we go. And we are going to keep arguing. Yep, keep arguing. Keep it going. And the next thing we need to do is to try it. And after that, we gathered at the rest area, had a light meal, and chatted it up. From beginning to end, Sora's explanation of the RSD system dominated the conversation. During the talk, I discovered something of interest. I learned that Sarah was supposed to be amazing when it came to computers. Sarah was floored the day before when she heard that Sora was computer generated, but when Sora gave her a technical explanation, she was able to absorb it all without any problem. You said about Sarah.
マヨはね、ハッカーなのよ。
And after the discussion, I stayed in the rest area alone. It was a free time of sorts. I imagined that everyone was walking around the Mew, spending the time as they pleased. We had decided where and when we would meet. I didn't know what I should do with myself until then. I was bored stiff. I looked down. The floor was covered with a layer of water. The lights in the ceiling were reflected in the water. It was like the cold light of the moon. I poked my finger into the water. Plop. The water rippled and the surface shook. The light in the water fragmented into disarray, finally returning to its original shapes. I reached into the water, trying to grab the light. But I could only grab a little seawater. I couldn't touch the light. I tried again and again, but no matter how I tried, I couldn't grab the moon. The words I had just heard from Sora cut across my mind again.
誰も私のことを見ていなければ、私は存在しないも同然ということです。
I mean that I cease to exist when no one is looking at me. I lay down on the bench and closed my eyes. I thought about Sora. As I thought, my consciousness slipped into a light sleep. All the dots. It was actually more than a light sleep. I continued my slumber. When I opened my eyes, there was Sora.
少年さん、もう皆さんはお待ちになっているようですよ。
Kid-san, everyone is waiting for you. Sora said it softly, peering down at me spread out on the bench. I was still half asleep when Sora and I started heading for the conference room to meet everyone. I thought as I walked the corridors in a stupor. I remember the words that Sora had said before I slept. I mean that I cease to exist when no one is looking at me. For some reason, I just couldn't shake those words from my mind. It sounds a lot like Coco, doesn't it? I asked Sora walking next to me why she had said them. And what she said was,
誰かが私を見る。
Someone has to see me.
その行為があって、初めて私は姿を現すことができる。
I had to be seen in order to exist.
視線、視点。
Vision, a viewpoint.
誰かの視点が私を作るのです。
Someone's perspective actually creates me.
少年さん、
Kid-san,
あなたが目を閉じたとき、私は消えてなくなるのです。
when you close your eyes, I disappear. Try it? Yes. Try it. When I close my eyes, I decided to test it and covered my eyes with one hand. Instantly, Sora vanished. If Sora did exist, I should have been able to see her head above my hand and her feet below. But Sora wasn't there. My hand kept the laser from reaching my eyes, so I couldn't see Sora. Something about it made her seem fragile and temporary. It scared me. I quickly put down my hand. Her beautiful image appeared without a sound. She smiled gently. Sora?
何でしょう。
Yes. There was no real meaning in my question. Maybe it was just that I wanted to see whether or not she would answer me. Given her fragile existence, there seemed to be a danger that she might slip away at any moment. I was uneasy about it, and at the same time felt a sort of awe about the mystery of it. I felt drawn to her.
もう何ですか？そんなにじっと見つめないでください。
Is there anything else? Please don't stare at me like that. Sora was blushing. Oh no, nothing else. Sora pinched her lips closed as if she was slightly embarrassed.
ところで、少年さん、
By the way, Kid-san. Yeah?
少年さんは月を見たことがありますか？
Kid-san, have you ever seen the moon? The question came out of nowhere. My mind switched tracks and started looking for an appropriate answer. The moon, huh? I don't suppose this is a question I should have to think about, but having lost my memory and all, I can't say for sure that I've seen it. But I know what the moon is, and I'm pretty sure that I have seen it.
わかりました。
I see.
では満月の晩、少年さんが月を見上げていたとします。
Well, now let's say that you have seen a full moon. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of full moons lately in the quarry. That's for sure.
その時、少年さんが目を閉じてしまっても、月はそこにあると思いますか？
And we had a strawberry moon, not too, just recently, out, you know, here in real life. And the strawberry moon was super duper bright. It was the brightest I've seen the moon in a long time, and it was just amazing. And let's say that you close your eyes. Do you think the moon would still be there? Aha, well that's easy. It's sort of like a tree falling in the woods. If no one's around to hear it, it still makes sound, right? Of course it would.
ならば、世界中の人間が一斉に目を閉じたとしたらどうでしょう？
And how about if everyone in the world closed their eyes all at the same time? I don't know what your point is, but even if everyone in the world closed their eyes, the moon wouldn't disappear.
本当ですか？
Really? Yes?
どうやって確かめます？
How can you be sure? Just open your eyes, right?
それでは家庭に背くことになります。
That goes against the purpose of this exercise.
私がお尋ねしたのは、観測せずに月があるかどうかを確かめる方法は存在するかということです。
My question was whether or not there is any way of verifying that the moon exists if someone closes their eyes. Huh?
少年さんが目を閉じた時にも、世界は本当にあるのでしょうか。
When you close your eyes, do you think this world still exists?
もしも私の画像だけでなく、このレミューの一切合切が全て RSD による幻影だとしたらどうしますか？
What if I told you that not only myself but all of Lemieux was nothing but an RSD-generated illusion? What would you do then? I would think I'm in the Matrix of some sort. Huh?
少年さんが今ご覧になっている壁や天井やその他の景色のすべてを実像だと証明することができますか？
Can you prove that the walls, the ceiling, and all of the scenery that you are observing actually exist? So everything I'm looking at is RSD? I panic, glancing around at my surroundings. That's an interesting thought. Is this all a simulation? Like the entire game has been nothing but a simulation and none of it really exists? Nah, I don't think that's true.
ごめんなさい。冗談ですよ。
Haha, I'm sorry, I was only joking. Or is it true and this is the game's way of throwing me off? Huh? That was a joke?
ええ、レミューは確かに実在します。
Yes, Lemieux really does exist.
少年さんがあまりにも自信たっぷりにお答えになったので、ちょっとからかってみたくなっただけです。
You sounded so full of confidence when you answered. I thought I would tease you just a bit. Sora giggled, covering her mouth.
しかし、これだけは言えます。
However, I can say this.
人間が世界を認識するためには、五感のうちのいずれかを使う以外に方法はありません。
For humans to know the world around them, they must use one of their 5 senses.
すべての感覚を失ってしまったら、世界があるのかどうかさえわからなくなってしまうのです。
If they lose all of these, they would lose the ability to tell whether this world exists or not.
逆に言えば、視点こそが世界を作っていると言えるかもしれませんね。
Another way of putting it might be to say that the perspective is in the eye of the beholder. Great Twilight Zone episode, by the way.
この場合の視点とは、視覚のことだけを指しているのではなく、聴覚、嗅覚、味覚、触覚のすべての感覚を指しています。
In this instance, I don't mean just sight, but hearing, smell, taste, and touch as well. All of the senses.
物事を知覚するポイント、それが視点なのです。
The point at which we perceive the world, that is perspective.
そして私は
And
私は月と同じなのです。
I am the same as the moon.
お分かりになりましたか？
Do you understand? I felt like I had been able to get the gist of what she meant. Still, I didn't know exactly what she meant by I am the same as the moon. I mustered an image of a silvery blue moon, its light piercing through the dark night. I see. That's what she means. The answer came to me surprisingly quickly. The moon didn't bark like a dog, it didn't smell, and it did taste tart like an apple. At least not as far as I knew. The only way to be sure of the existence of the moon was through its small gravitational pull and its blue-white light. Thinking of it in that way, the mysterious charm of the moon and its transience were things that Sora shared. I believed that the moon was there, so it was there. I believed that Sora was there, so she was there. Maybe that was what Sora wanted to say. Yeah, I understand. That was how I answered. Sora's eyes lit up and her cheeks wrinkled into a big smile. Sora is so adorable. And it might have been my imagination, but I thought I smelled the tart scent of an apple from somewhere. It was nighttime. Back to kick the can. Are we actually going to get any answers from this? I wonder. I see. Okay, so that's still the same. Go with Sarah and you? No. We're supposed to, yeah, go with Sarah and Sora.
あら？
And then we head to the Lemurian ruins. And then after heading to the Lemurian ruins, we head to the rest area. rest area. And then we head to the control room. Now, what I've been told by Entra is when we head to the control room here, we press F3, which is the skip button, one more time. And then after we press it this time, we never ever press it again. So this is the final skip in the playthrough. And then from here, we never press it again. And look at the top. See this? Coco, who am I? Who are you? Coco. Doesn't say kid/Coco. Just says Coco. Are you ready for this, my friends? Because I know I am. I have been waiting for this for a long time now. In the infirmary. Deciding to sleep was fine, but where? There were 4 legitimate beds in the dry areas. I wonder if we're Coco now. No, we're still Kid because look, the border is blue. There was 1 in the compression chamber along with 2 beds and 1 examination table in the infirmary. Sugumi was missing and Sora didn't need sleep, so there were exactly 4 of us. Takeshi had been regulated to the compression chamber as a potential danger to the woman. You and Sarah had said that they would take the 2 beds since they were vulnerable young women. So I got stuck on the hard examination table.
Oi, Shone.
Hey kid.
Shone.
Hey kid.
もう寝ちゃったか?
Are you asleep already? Takeshi was shaking me. I'd wake up even if I were asleep with you shaking me that hard.
ね、どっちなんだ? 今寝てるのか?
So which is it? Are you awake or asleep? Isn't that obvious? I'm sleeping like a log. I closed my eyes.
釣れないこと言うなや.
Hey, come on, don't be like that. All the dots.
眠れないんだよ.
I can't sleep. Last night you seemed like you were totally fine.
だってな、あの狭苦しい加減圧室の中に一人ぼっちなんだぞ.
But I'm all alone in this tiny little cramped space.
まるで棺桶の中にでも閉じ込められちまった気分で.
I mean, it's like being cooped up in a coffin. Makes me feel, It's the same place you were snoring away last night. You could sleep in a coffin, you could sleep in a cup of coffee.
お、うまいね.
Hey, that almost rhymes or something.
棺桶とカフェオレか.
Coffin and coffee.
カフェオレには覚醒作用を持つカフェインが含まれている.
Coffee has caffeine in it. Now that wakes you up.
だから普通の人間ならばカフェオレの中ではまどろみさえ覚えないはずだが.
So there's no way a normal person could catch a wink in a cup of coffee.
きっとたけしだったら、つまりずぶとい神経を持っている俺だったら、そんな覚醒作用などものともせず、ふうさと眠りこけてしまうだろう.
But caffeine wouldn't phase a big lunk like that Takeshi. He'd sleep like a baby.
というような意味を込めつつ、棺桶の韻をさりげなく踏んでみたりしたわけだ.
Is that what you're trying to say with that almost rhyming of yours? Ah, you stupid.
年長者に向かってアホとは何事じゃ.
Ha! Was there any way to talk to elders? I'm going to sleep.
なあ、頼むよ、少年. ちょっと付き合ってくれよ.
Hey, come on, KID. Stay up with me a bit. Good night. I turned away from him. Tug, tug, tug. Thud. Takeshi pulled me off of the examination table. Hey, what are you doing? I'll sue you.
まあまあ、いいからいいから.
Come on, take it easy. Calm down.
ここは一つ男同士で一杯やろうじゃないか.
Let's have a drink, you know, man to man. No thanks.
俺もやだ.
My thoughts exactly.
やだやだやだやだやだやだやだやだ. 少年がいなくちゃ嫌なんだい.
I'm nothing without you, kid. And then, whoa! Oh, this picture is amazing. Be quiet.
いい加減もう寝なさい.
Cut it out, the 2 of you. Just go to sleep. You lying in the bed next to me had snapped. She sat upright, a strange light emanating from her.
どうもお騒がせしました.
Oh, sorry for causing such a ruckus, milady. I walked out of the room with Takeshi's hand pushing me from behind.
じゃあまあ、とりあえず売店にでも行ってビール調達してくるか.
Hey, for now, why don't we hit the kiosk and get some beers? Takeshi started walking. I stayed where I was. Is there a beer in Lemieux?
ああ、売り物じゃないらしいんだが、冷蔵庫の奥の方にあったやつを見つけたんだ。
Well, I don't think it was for sale, but it was stashed in the back of the fridge.
多分、店員か誰かがこっそり隠しておいたんだろう。
I figured some worker hid it in there. But I can't drink beer.
どうして？
Huh? Why not? I stopped and turned around. I'm not old enough.
それがどうした？
So what? Underage means you can't drink alcohol. It's the law. What is the drinking age in Japan, by the way? I could probably look that up later if I remember. I do know different countries have different laws on drinking. And I think Takeshi said it was 20, which means he would be underage in American law since US law is 21.
つまりお前は法を犯したくないと。
So you're saying you won't break any law? Yeah.
だけどお前、竜田サンドも食ったし、コーラも飲んだよな。金も払わずに。
Well, but you eat sandwiches and drink cola, right? And you didn't pay anything. Well, that's because I had to survive.
はあ、嫌だね。嫌だ嫌だ。お前授業中にメール打ってるやつ、教師にチクるタイプだろ。
Well, I bet you're the kind of kid that'll tattle on a kid next to you in the class if he's passing notes to his friends. I am not.
しないかどうかはわからないだろ。記憶がないんだから。
You don't know if you are or not because you got no memory. All the dots.
ああ、もうわかったわかった。
Alright.
じゃあ少年はクリームソーダでも飲んでろよ。
You can drink cream soda then. Why cream soda? You got root beer instead? I like cream soda. Cream soda is good. I just like root beer better.
お子ちゃまだからだ。
Because you're just a little baby. I'm not a baby. I'm 16, I think.
16歳だろ。
Haha, 16, huh?
16歳。十分ガキンチョじゃないか。
16, old enough to lead a whole gang of snot-nosed brats on your own. Stop it. 16 is still underage, but I'm not a kid anymore. I'm still not an adult, but I'm not a kid anymore. That's what I am.
何が子供超だ。
Just a word about you is more than a kid.
超子供なくせに。
Kid? I'm going back to bed.
嘘びょん嘘びょん。
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
だよなだよな。お前はもう子供じゃないな。お兄さんにはよーくわかるぞ。
Right, because you're a big boy? Oh, growing up, near. Oh, rolling my eyes in the back of my head, Dots?
あれお、ちょっと待てよ。
Hey, wait, what? Hey, hold on a sec.
お少年、お前記憶がないんだったよな。
Kid, you got no memory, right? Right?
だったらどうして自分が16歳だって知ってるんだ。
So, how do you know that you're 16? Yeah, that's exactly what I've been saying. I mean, I think we're 16, but there's no way to tell, right? Because, I mean, in the other dimension, he did get his memories back. So maybe that's why he knew it was 16, because in the other dimension, he knows he's 16? I do know why. As I mumbled, I unconsciously held open my right hand. I stared absently at my palm. I still don't have any idea what had happened to my finger. There was no doubt that I had said I was 16, but I couldn't be sure I was right. I wondered if I was really that age, if I could really believe my words.
まあいいや。
Well, whatever.
とにかく良かったじゃないか。思い出して。
Anyway, it's good that you remembered your age.
徐々に記憶が回復してきたっていう証拠だろ。
It's proof that you're slowly getting your memory back. I like this. I mean, he was sort of like, you know, making fun of us, and now he's supporting us. So it's almost like he considers us either like a friend or a little brother of sorts. All the dots.
16歳ね。
16, huh?
じゃあ俺の推測は当たらずとも遠からずだったってわけだな。
So, my guess wasn't that far off, huh? Huh?
ほら、昨日言っただろ ?14、5歳ぐらいに見えるってさ。
Well, yesterday I guessed, right? I said you were around 14 or 15.
まあ、こんな感じの16歳がいても別に不思議ではないが。
I suppose someone like you could be 16. I mean, it could be possible enough. Could be? Could be? What's that supposed to mean? I looked at my arms, my legs, and my whole body as if to check. And lastly, I touched my hands to my face. What?
っていうか、まさかお前、
Don't tell me you,
自分の顔も忘れちまったのか？
you didn't forget your own face, did you? Face? I put all my power into opening the door. The room had a high ceiling, and I ran toward the mirror on the room's far wall. My leg caught on the bench, and I crashed to the floor. I lifted my head slowly. The mirror was right in front of me, and I was inside it. I looked at me. For some reason, I felt scared all of a sudden. I squeezed my eyes shut and looked down. I willed my legs to stand me up. My knees shook. I stumbled 2 or 3 steps. I put my hand on the locker to keep myself from falling. I tried to walk. It was as if the mirror was sucking me toward it. I put both hands on the mirror. Both of my eyes were slightly open, but I wasn't able to raise my face yet. I was facing me, and both of us had our hands facing each other. I could only see his body. His legs quivered, his palms shook, making the mirror rattle. I took a breath. My shaking stopped, and at that moment, sound suddenly disappeared. I didn't move. The other me didn't move either. I waited for him to move. I looked up ever so slightly. I saw another world behind his back. A bench lay knocked over and clothing was scattered everywhere. Someone was standing on the other side of the open door.
おい、少年！
Hey, kid!
どうしたんだよ？突然走り出したりして。
Yeah, what's up with you? Running off like that? I turned around. Takeshi stood with one hand on the door.
鏡。
A mirror? His voice made me want to look. I turned my eyes around. Inside the massive mirror. Who is that? Is that the kid from Sarah's bracelet? The face of some kid who I didn't know was staring back at me. What is going on here? He screamed, as if he were at the end of the world. His face contorted in a way that chilled my spine. He clutched his hair with both hands. His body shook, racked with convulsions.
なんだ？どうしたんだよ、少年？
That's not me. What is it? What's going on, kid? What is going on here? He put his fingernails on his cheek and harshly scratched his flesh around his neck. His lower jaw protruded out forward, dripping downward at his tongue hang out. No, no, no. No, 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 no.
なんだよ？何が違うって言うんだ？どうしちまったんだよ、一体？
What is it? What's wrong? This. It's not me. It's not me. It's not me.
だから何がお前じゃないんだ？
What's not you? Ah!
くそ、どうすりゃいいんだ？
Dang it, what am I supposed to do? No, 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 no. It's not me, it's not me, it's not me.
ちょっと待ってろ。
Just hold on, kid.
今みんな呼んでくるからな。
I'll go get everyone. I didn't know who the me inside this mirror was. It wasn't the face of the kid that I knew. It wasn't the sick color of his skin or his bloodshot eyes or the way his tongue hung limply. His whole appearance was completely different than anything I had in my memory of myself. He wasn't me. No, I wasn't him. Who was he? Who in the world was I? The me that was standing there didn't know who I was. Where was the real me? Who are you? I asked him, and he asked me. Who am I? I asked me, and he asked he. My consciousness was fading, and I gradually started losing my senses. Who are you? Who am I? Someone whispered in my ear. I didn't know if it was me or him. Who are you? Who am I? My eyes clouded over, and I couldn't see clearly. His body swung back and forth like a pendulum, finally disappearing from my sight. Drifting in pure white darkness. But it wasn't me or him floating, but both me and him. I had lost of where I had I had lost of where I ended and the world began. I had lost all my sense of everything. I had no way to confirm my existence. I just let myself drift, like a baby floating in the womb. Dissolving, 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 dissolving. I dissolved into pure white darkness, the pure white darkness becoming me. I was nowhere. Then me, who was nowhere, was everywhere. So where was the real me? Who are you? Who am I? And the whispering voice disappeared, swallowed by the dark light. What the heck is going on here? And our text box just changed color. In that world where the boundaries between light and shadow blended, there was no sound. The notion of white waves of darkness surged forward, permeating my skin and shaking my whole body. Something, like a hard shell, beginning to resonate and emit a black light from inside. There was no sign that the waves would stop. Rather, they seemed to be getting stronger and stronger. A crack ran down the outer husk. It began to spread like the strands of a web and soon covered the entire shell. Pieces began to fall away, dropping to the floor. What I got was a glimpse of through the fragmented shell was dazzling. The particles of light filling that white space began to converge on each other. The light formed a vague image. The light came flying into view, a fragment of a scene familiar to me. What just happened? Who? What? How? When? Why? Huh? I am so confused. I woke up in the middle of the conference room. Eh? Me? Wait! Wait a second! We're Takeshi now! The box is green! And he lost his voice. Me? What is going on in this game? Why did I feel such unease towards me? If you stared at something for a long time, it could seem to warp and change. The unnaturalness I felt right then seemed a lot like that phenomenon. As though I was taking something for granted that I shouldn't. It was probably just my mind playing tricks on me. And not thinking any more of it, I shook Coco's shoulder. She was asleep next to me, head down on the table. So we're in Takeshi's dimension now. Hey, get up, it's morning. Rubbing her eyes, Coco got up slowly. Oh, good morning, Oni-chan. And she's calling us her brother? Huh? Oni-chan? Oh, I see, you have a brother, Coco, but I'm not your brother. No, Oni-chan. We need to get ready or we'll be late for school. Coco was still half in dreamland. Late for school? What are you talking about? Well, that's just the setting it is. Listen. Stop messing around, we're going to eat. Okay, Tekapion. When Coco and I made to the kiosk, everyone had gathered there. What the heck is going on in this game? Segumi saw you and the kid, all of them. I made my way into the submarine and opened up the refrigerator. Oh! I spotted sausages hidden in the back. I decided to make everyone hot dogs. Soon after I made the breakfast for everyone, I leaned out over the counter and said, Alright, everyone wants to eat, get in line. I'm first. Oh, well, here you go. Help yourself to ketchup and mustard. I'd like one too. I am so confused right now. So, the person that we thought was Kid in Kid's dimension isn't this Kid? They're not the same person? Or are they the same person? My head hurts. I Hey, wait in line. The next person is ME. That was probably the way things usually were at the shop. There still wasn't any schedule as to when we might get out of Lemieux. But in the meantime, we stopped thinking about the difficult and negative things.
なんか知らないけど楽しそうだね
I'm not sure why, but you look like you're having fun. Who, me? You think so? Fun, I guess, maybe. Yeah, you look like you might even be enjoying your life here. I wonder how that feels. I guess it'd be kind of fun owning a stand like this.
いやだいけ
Owning a stand? Takapion, you really do like your work here. Look like you work here. Hot dogs, get your hot dogs around the house. You don't think that maybe you could have sold hot dogs in a past life? Ah, shucks, dear customer, you're just saying that. No, Coco, I think it was a hot dog man. I don't think it was a hot dog man. I think it was a sandwich man. Come on, you. The three of them took the hot dogs and walked a short distance from the stand laughing. As if they had traded places, Sugumi came up.
何かあったの
What just happened? Everyone's eating hot dogs. Here, I've got one for you too. Oh, the dots. Sugumi took it without a word of thanks and went to the corner of the room. So it was talking with the kid. I was a bit sad that I couldn't make anything for her. Still leaning over, I greedily stuffed my own hot dog into my mouth and watched everyone from where I was. It was May 3rd. It had been 3 days since we'd been trapped. But everyone was bright and showed no feeling of fatigue or sadness. Especially Coco. It was hard to believe that she had suffered so much that first night. For no reason, Coco was playing with Pippi's tail. Looking at her smiling face, I suddenly remembered how we had bumped into each other again. After I got her out of the elevator, I seemed to remember. The elevator. The elevator is when things differed. Because instead of finding Sarah, we found Coco. You're that guy from before. You're that girl from before. The girl and I pointed at each other and froze. I spotted the scruffy face of a dog circling around her feet. Popo. His name's not Popo. This little guy's name is Pippi, and my name's Coco. Try not to mix them up, okay? What are you doing here? Well, what do you expect me to say to that? I was trying to go to one of the lower levels, and all of a sudden this escalator stopped, and It isn't an escalator, it's an elevator, alright? Oops, I mean elevator, evelator, okay? Evelator. No, not evelator, it's an elevator. If you're on a moving staircase, that's called an escalator. If you're in a box that goes up and down, well, that's an elevator. Try not to mix them up. All the dots. Oh, the double dots. Does it really matter? Anyway, I don't know why, but all of a sudden I was trapped in this box. Really? Hey. I kinda like to get out of here soon. Oh, I am sorry. I said that and got down on my stomach from atop the elevator. I leaned down from the small hole and stuck my hand out to Coco. Please, help Pippi first. Coco held Pippi up to me, stretching as far as she could to make him reach. I grabbed onto Pippi's front legs and pulled him out from the hole in the ceiling. Okay, it's your turn next, Coco. I stuck out my hand again. Coco jumped over and over, reaching out for my hand. But either she was too short or just couldn't jump because she didn't even reach my fingertips. Next, I looked over to where Sora was. She was standing next to the kid and talking with Tsugumi about something. I couldn't hear what they were talking about from where I was. I got Akane Kasake Sora. It was hard to believe she was only an illusion generated by RSD. I stared at her again from a distance. I remember what we talked about the day before.
ところで倉成さん
By the way, Kiranari-san.
倉成さんは月を見たことがありますか
Kiranari-san, have you ever seen the moon? Haha, yeah, are you kidding?
では満月の晩倉成さんが月を見
Wait,
上げてい
this was a
た時
conversation she had with Kid. Well, now let's say that you have seen a full moon.
その時倉成さんが目を閉じてしまっても
Yeah, this is the same thing
月は
about
そこにあると思いますか
the full moon.
ならば世界中の人間
And if everyone in the world did the
一斉に
same
目を閉じた
thing,
としたらどうでしょう本当ですか
this is the exact same
どうやって
conversation.
確かめますそれでは
Literally the exact same
私がお尋ね
conversation.
したのは観測せずに倉成さんが目を閉じた時もしも私の画像だけでは
Yeah,
なく
this is
倉成さん
like
が
word
今
for
ご覧になっている
the same thing, and she said she was joking, and it really does exist.
たっぷりのお答えになったのしかし人間が世界を認識すべて
And about the five
逆に
senses?
この場合の視点とは視覚の物事を知覚するポイント
What the heck is going on here?
月と同じなのです
What is going on in this game? Her existence disappeared when I closed my eyes. But I felt that Sora had just as much as, no, maybe even more human worth and caring than the rest of us. Then again, there was Tsugumi's coldness.
見かけによらずまともなことも考えられるのね。
I guess you're not as dumb as you look. What do you mean by that?
そのまんまの意味よ。
I mean exactly what I said.
あなた、
You
頭
don't
が
look
そうだ。
that smart. Oh, the tits.
これは罠よ。
This is a trap,
きっとあなたは出られない。
and you probably aren't going to get out.
いえ、あなただけじゃなく、他の4人全員。
No, not just you, but everyone else as well, all four of them.
みんな同じよ。
You're all the same. I remember this conversation, but this happened the way we're remembering it. Not... Did Sora have that conversation with Takashi and Hizra as well, but I just forgotten about it? I mean, we haven't played this game for a while now, and it's been like 40 plus hours, so it's impossible to remember every single conversation, but... Well, what about you then, Tsugumi?
私は、
I...
そうね。ここで死んでもいいかな。
Yeah, I suppose I could die in a place like this.
それも悪くないかも。
It wouldn't be bad at all, I guess. I couldn't forget the cold smile that she had on her face as she said those words. I was thinking that and looking at her. I wasn't sure if she could feel my gaze, but she turned to look over at me. For some reason, I felt like she could see what I was thinking, and I avoided her eyes. The next person to jump into my field of view was you. You had finished eating her hot dog and was dancing hand in hand with Coco. I wondered if it was some kind of folk dance. She smiled so wildly that it seemed like her face might split, and she laughed boisterously. Her eyes shone so brightly. But I knew. There was a sad past hidden behind those eyes. Her father had disappeared 17 years earlier. I thought about the talk I had with you the day before. Maybe the reason she carried that album around with her was that she wanted something to connect her with the memories of her father. I bumped into you and Coco in front of the Murray Ruins the previous day on May 2nd. In the palm of Yu's hand was some kind of journal or notebook. She had opened and was staring at a page. Coco was standing next to her, peering over her shoulder. What you looking at?
お写真見てたの。
We were, looking at these pictures. Pictures?
見たい？
You wanna see them? Sure.
じゃあ見せてあげよう。
Okay, I'll show you. What you handed over to me was neither a journal or notebook, but a single file. One small enough to fit in the palm of my hand. It was already open, and it had several pictures taken from an instant camera stuffed between the pages. They were baby pictures. It can't be. You're a baby?
バーカ。
No, stupid.
私まだ18よ。 独身なのよ、独身。
I'm 18, okay? And I'm single. Single. Yeah, right. Which means that this baby is,
ナッキュだよ。
It's not you, dummy.
ナッキュがちっちゃかった頃のお写真なんだって。
These are from when Naku was a little itty bitty baby. So, this is what you were laughing about?
いけない？
Something wrong with that?
だって可愛いでしょ。子供の頃の私。
I mean, they're adorable, right? My baby pictures?
もちろん今でも可愛いことに変わりはないんだけどね。
And of course the fact that I'm cute hasn't changed a bit, you know? All the does.
それからちょっと貸して。
Oh, and can you hand those back? And saying that, you snatched the file out of my hands.
これが45歳の時の私で、
This picture is when I was dressed up in a kimono as a kid.
これが運動会の応援団長をやった時のやつで、
And in this, I was head cheerleader for an athletic event at school.
それからこれは中学校の入学式の時の写真でしょ。
And, oh, this was from my first day of middle school. You continue to flip through the pages.
これは高校の文化祭の時に撮ったやつ。
And here's one that I took at the talent show my freshman year in high school.
ケイコ、ミンミン、ベティ、ちーちゃん、リーフ、山本。
Here's Keiko,
これは一応先生ね。
Minmin, Betty, Chichan, Beef Yamamoto. Oh, and I couldn't forget my teacher, right?
花火大会でしょ。温泉旅行でしょ。アミちゃん家に泊まった時の写真でしょ。
And the fireworks festival. Here's my trip to the hot springs. Oh, and one from that time I stayed at Ami-chan's.
それからなんだこれ。
And here we have, huh? What is this?
夜中に学校に忍び込んだ時のやつだ。
Oh, that's right. This is when we sneaked into school that one night.
卒業式のはね、確か最後の方に、
And of course, the graduation ceremony. There was one more. I wonder, is Sarah gonna be in any of these pictures?
これブサイクでしょ。泣いちゃった後だから。
Here it is. It's hideous, right? I've been crying and crying. So much used history was there. Smiling faces, sad faces, silly faces, surprised faces, even shy faces. There were girlfriends, boyfriends, teachers, people, afternoons, nights, good times, and hard times. And what without saying, but shown in those photos were people I didn't know, places I didn't know, and a you that I didn't know.
あとはね。
Oh, and you look like she had no intention of stopping, so I rushed to get a word in. Mew? So, what is this? Your life's history album or something?
アルバムね。そんな風に呼んだことはないけど。
A history album? Well, I've never called it that before.
まあ、ジャンルとしてはアルバムに分類されるのかな。
But if you had to label it, I guess you could call it that. So, why are you carrying that with you?
なんでそんなこと聞くの？
Huh? Why do you even need to ask?
タケピョン知らないの？女の子はみんなこういうの持ってるんだよ。普通。
Tekapion, you don't know? All girls carry around things like this. It's normal. You don't say.
うん？
Yeah.
少なくともここの周りにいる女の子はみんな持ち歩いてるよ。
Well, all the girls I know carry them around.
みんな今頃何してるのかな。
I wonder what everyone is doing right about now. You murmured softly to herself as she flipped through the pages.
私のこともしかして心配してくれてたりするのかな。
Do any of these people ever worry about me?
そうだ。
Oh yeah.
タケピョンはさ、ママとパパと一緒に住んでるの？
Do you live with your mom and dad, Tekapion?
それとも一人暮らし？
Or do you live by yourself? Coco threw the question at me abruptly. Before answering, I tossed the question back. How about you, Coco? You're probably still living with your parents, aren't you?
ココ14歳なんだよ。当たり前でしょ。
Well, I'm 14, aren't I? Of course I am.
だけど今パパは家にいないけど。
Well, right now my dad isn't at home, but why not?
出張中だから。
Because he's on a business trip, that's why. Oh, I see. And what about you? You? Are you living with your parents or Oh, duh. Why'd I ask that? I realized I made a mistake to ask that. Hugh's dad was missing, but it didn't seem as if she cared one way or another.
私はお母さんと一緒に住んでる。
I'm living with my mom,
でも心配なんかしてないと思うな。
but I doubt she's really worried about me.
そういう人だからあの人。
That's just the kind of person she is, my mom. What do you mean?
楽観的っていうかなんていうかあんまり物事に動じるようなタイプの人じゃないのよね。
Well, I guess you could call her a positive thinker. She isn't the type to really let herself get caught up in things.
普段外泊とかしても全然平気みたいだし。
She doesn't care if I stay out all night.
今まで18年間あの人と付き合ってきたけどうるさく言われたことなんか一度もないんだ。
I've been living with her for 18 years, but she's never raised her voice at me once.
私放任主義で育てられたの。
I grew up pretty much doing whatever I wanted.
だからこんな風になっちゃったのかもね。
I suppose that's why I turned out the way I did. You showed me a page from an album that she turned to. There was you putting the hurt on some wrestler, and the guy looked like a bulky jock of sorts. Coming out of my reverie, I noticed the scene had changed a bit. You and the kid had taken off somewhere. Maybe they'd gone to the rest area next door. It's only been 2 days and so much has happened. Just being trapped here is an usual state of affairs. I said those words to myself without thinking. Just then. Ba-boom. Suddenly, a low metallic sound reverberated throughout the complex. It was a dull, muffled sound. What was that?
少し揺れたわね。
This whole place just shook a little. Yeah, that's who I'd be asking for help. Coco ran over to Sora. Pippi was clutched to her chest. Coco was hugging him so hard he seemed about to rupture.
今何があったの？嫌な音がしたけど。
Hey, did something just happen? There was an awful sound just now.
フロアを支えるシャフトの一部に歪みが発生しました。
One of the shafts that supports this floor has started to warp.
海流の乱れに影響された模様です。
It appears that as if the ocean currents may have caused it. How dangerous are we talking here?
誤差の範囲内だと思いますが。いえ、待ってください。
Well, it should be within the margin of error, but no. Wait a second.
ツバイトシュトックの倉庫、圧力制御用の配管に異常があります。
There is an anomaly in one of the pressure-regulated pipes at Switterstock's warehouse. What are pressure-regulating pipes?
レミューを覆っている多重隔壁、その内部の圧力調整を行っているパイプです。
These pipelines are responsible for adjusting the pressure inside the multi-layered bulkheads comprising the Mew.
万一これが破損していた場合、私の力ではこれを修復することができません。
If any of them should rupture, for whatever reason, I am incapable of repairing them.
異常は軽微ですから緊急は要しませんが、倉庫の状況をご確認いただいた方がいいと思います。
The anomaly is only slight, so you shouldn't have to worry, but I think it is best if someone goes to check on it.
お願いできますか？
Would you please go for me? Sure, leave it to me.
私も行くわ。
Oh, go too. Segumi, you sure?
修理するなら工具類が必要なんじゃないの？私ならいろいろ扱い方を知ってる。
Well, if we're going to fix something, we'll need tools, right? I know my way around a workshop. Alright, let's go.
ココも手伝うよ。
I'll help too. Okay, you can come too, Coco. It's good to hear you again, Pippi. It's been a while. By the way, does anyone know where you and the kid went?
田中さんと少年さんは現在警備室にいらっしゃいます。
Tanaka-san and Kid-san are in the security office. What the heck are they doing there?
レミとのコンタクトを試みているようです。
They are trying to make contact with the me. With the me? What am I thinking? I got other things to worry about. Alright, the three of us are going to the warehouse. Sora, give you and the kid an update on the situation, will you?
わかりました。
Understood. We opened up the door to the storage room to find the floor covered in water. The water level came up to the tops of my shoes. We could hear a hissing sound coming from somewhere in the back of the room. This is when Segumi got hurt. The sound drew our attention. There was a faint crack in the pressure regulating pipe and the water was dancing out of it in the fine mist. If that was all it was, it didn't seem like we had anything to worry about. It seemed like we'd be able to fix it in no time. Segumi had opened up the toolbox that was in the corner of the room and started spreading a few tools out in front of her. What should I do?
パイプが少し歪んでしまっているわ。金具を締め直すからパイプを持って支えてくれる？
The pipe is bent a little bit. I'm going to climb. I'm going to clamp a metal sleeve on it. Would you support the pipe for me? Roger that.
ここは
What should I do?
向こうのこのパイプがつながっているバルブがあるの。わかる？あれを少しだけ緩めてほしいの。
On the other side of this, there should be a valve attached to this pipe. You see it? I want you to loosen that a bit.
了解
Okay, gotcha. And that way, the three of us started working in unison. We opened and closed a number of valves, connected and repaired pipes, and welded shut cracks. All the
たけし、ぼーっとしてないで次のパイプをお願い。
Takeshi, don't just stand there. On to the next pipe. Okay.
まずそこの青いバルブを。
First, take that blue valve and
そしたら次に赤いバルブをひねって。
now twist the red valve. We fixed a number of pipes, but the sound of escaping steam still hadn't stopped.
それじゃあここ少しそこで待ってて。
Alright, Coco, wait just a bit.
準備 OK だよ
Okay, I'm ready.
たけし、今言った順番でバルブをお願い。
Takeshi, turn the valves in the order I told you. Oh, the duds.
ちょっとたけし、聞いてるの？
Hey, Takeshi, are you listening? Huh? Yeah, alright, I'm sorry. Blue then red, right?
そうよ。緩めて、それから閉めるの。
Yeah, loosen them, then shut them again. I set to work on the blue valve in front of me. I was supposed to loosen it. I was supposed to turn it counterclockwise, yeah. I turned the blue valve with all my strength. The sound of the rushing steam grew softer. Next, close the red valve. The strength of steam blowing from the pipe weakened. Alright, that does it. Okay.
ここ、あとちょっとだけ支えてて。
Coco, hold on just a little longer. Okay. Holding up her left hand to shield her face, Sugumi operated the welding torch with her right hand. The crack in the pipe closed
た
visibly.
けし、ここをつけたらすぐにそっちのバルブを元に戻して。
Takeshi, after I've finished attaching this, return the valve to its original position right away. Okay. Sugumi finished welding.
バルブを早く。
The valve, hurry! Alright, jeez. I quickly turned the valve back in the other direction. I could feel the steam flowing through the
こ
valve.
こ、そのパイプはもういいわ。次はお願い。
Coco, this pipe's done. Go on to the next one.
OK どこ
Okay, where is it?
そうね。ちょっと待って。
Hold on just a second. The water underfoot still hadn't gone down at all and was swirling around like a whirlpool. The air conditioner on the wall was sucking in water and gurgling it out. It appeared it had also shorted out. I could see blue-white sparks jumping around inside. I hoped it didn't shock me. As soon as I thought that, bam! It sounded like the air conditioner was about to break apart. Smoke started pouring out from the exhaust vent, and from the intake port, murky water started gurgling out. The area around my legs was quickly getting grimy.
水が、
Water.
吸気口に吸い込まれた水が逆流してる。気をつけて。
The water that was in the suction pipe is starting to backflow. Be careful. Ugh! My leg got caught up in the jet of muddy water and I lost my balance. I reached out to grab something. I caught onto a stack of crates and old containers laying nearby. It made an ominous sound. My body draped awkwardly over the containers. I lifted my gaze. On the top of the stack was wobbling precariously. I looked to Sugumi. Our eyes met. She was frozen in place, holding her breath. I shot a glance over at Coco. She had her back turned to me and was grabbing onto a pipe. I looked up at the ceiling again. It all happened in an instant. The containers, having lost their balance, started to rain down. Chunks of metal, rusted pipes, thick iron cylinders. There was no sound. I perceived everything in vivid slow motion. Countless pieces of metal all pouring down quietly. Although my mind was spinning, my body couldn't catch up. I couldn't talk. I couldn't move. Crashing metal, a raging monster, with its sight fixed on that small frame. Pouncing, devouring, all of it headed for Coco! But Tsugumi saves the day, right? Right? The sight that flashed before me was a mountain of metal. The old pipes broke apart into thousands of pieces. The containers splintered apart, their sharp corners flashing. I landed in the water. I threw myself out of the way, arms and legs flailing. The pipes on the wall were cracked. They had been damaged from the shock. And out of the cracks, water was gushing out. And falling nearby was Tsugumi. I ran over to her. Coco looked around at the spectacle and hugged Pepe to herself tightly, her hands trembling. Yes, I'd seen it all. Just before the metallic objects had crashed down on Coco's back, Tsugumi had thrust her out of the way. She protected her while risking her own life. Alright, so yeah, this is the part where she gets injured. But again, I've been told not to skip anything from here on out because it's slightly buggy. So I can't really tell if we've seen this before. We're just gonna have to play it all out as it goes. I was worried there though for a second that it would be Coco on the floor and not Tsugumi. And that really made me panic because Tsugumi can heal, but Coco can't. So yeah, but what is going on with this game? Like, why is Kid in the mirror not Kid? And is that why in the credits he shows up as question marks? Because that's not the same person? And oh, my brain hurts thinking about this, and I love it. I love every second of it. Thank you all for everything. Really do appreciate you. And until next time, so long and take care. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment on what you saw and what you would like to see next. I always love to hear your thoughts. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more. Also, please do not forget, you matter. You are brilliant and you are loved. And you should always remember to be true to yourself. Don't let the world tell you any different. Much love to you from your friendly feathered flightless bird. Till next time.